Imagine walking into a Rolex boutique with $15,000 ready to spend. You pick the watch you want, you pull out your credit card, and the salesperson says, "Sorry, we can't sell that to you." Not because it's too expensive, not because you're not qualified, but because Rolex has built one of the most sophisticated scarcity systems in luxury history. A system designed to make you want the watch even more, the moment you're told you can't have it. And once you see how it works, you'll never look at a Rolex boutique the same way again. Number 1. The waiting list that doesn't exist. Here's what blows my mind. Rolex doesn't officially have a waiting list. Let that sink in. You can't put your name down. You can't reserve a watch. You can't even get a timeline. Walk into any authorized dealer and ask for a Submariner or a Daytona, and they'll smile politely and say, "We don't have any in stock right now." But here's the real game they're playing. These watches aren't actually out of stock in the traditional sense. Rolex produces around 1 million watches per year. That's not a small number. For comparison, that's more than brands like Patek Philippe and Audemars Piguet combined. So where are all these watches going? They're going to people with purchase history. They're going to VIP clients. They're going to people who've already bought 3 other Rolex models they didn't even want. It's like trying to get into an exclusive club where the bouncer decides if your face fits. Except the cover charge is $30,000. And you know what's crazy? This makes people want Rolex more, not less. We're psychologically wired to desire what we can't have. It's called the scarcity principle, and Rolex has weaponized it, better than any brand in history. But that's just the surface level. The real reason runs much deeper. Number 2, the genius of controlled supply. Let me tell you something that'll shock you. Rolex could easily meet demand tomorrow, if they wanted to. They have the factories, they have the craftsmen, they have the resources. But they deliberately choose not to. Why? Because flooding the market would destroy the brand overnight. Think about it like this. Supreme releases limited drops of simple t-shirts, and people camp outside for days. Nike creates artificial scarcity with sneaker releases, and the resale market explodes. Rolex does the same thing, but with Swiss precision, literally. Here's the strategy. By keeping production just below demand, they maintain 3 critical things. Exclusivity, not everyone can have one, which makes ownership feel special. Value retention. Rolex watches don't depreciate like normal luxury goods. Many appreciate. Brand prestige. Scarcity signals quality and desirability. A Rolex Submariner you buy today for $9,000? It could sell for $12,000 to $15,000 on the grey market tomorrow. Name another product where that happens. Your car loses 20% the second you drive off the lot. Your designer handbag maybe holds 50% value if you're lucky. But here's where it gets even more interesting, and honestly, a bit manipulative. Quick thing, if you're finding this fascinating, do me a solid and smash that like button. It genuinely helps the algorithm show this to more people who love this kind of content. And subscribe if you want to understand the psychology behind luxury brands, because I've got some wild revelations coming. Hit that bell too, so you don't miss what's next. Now, back to the rabbit hole. Number 3, the relationship economy. Here's what most people don't understand about buying a Rolex. It's not a transaction, it's a relationship. Authorized dealers have become gatekeepers of desire. They hold all the power, and they know it. Want that steel Daytona? Better become friends with your local dealer. Better buy that 2-tone Datejust you don't actually want. Better send a birthday card. I'm not even joking. This system has created something economists call purchase history requirements. Dealers track everything you buy. They know your spending patterns, they know your loyalty, and they use this data to decide who gets access to the good watches. It's like a luxury loyalty program, except instead of getting points, you get the privilege of spending more money. Genius? Absolutely. Fair? That's debatable. One dealer in New York literally told a customer, "Come back when you've spent $50,000 on other models, then we'll talk about a Submariner." That's not customer service, that's a velvet rope strategy. And here's the kicker, the grey market is thriving because of this. Unauthorized dealers and resellers are selling Rolex watches at 150 to 200% of retail price, and people are still buying them. Why wait 2 years when you can pay double and get it today? Rolex knows this is happening, and they're okay with it, because every article about $20,000 markups reinforces the brand's desirability. But you're probably wondering, what does this mean for you? Number 4, the psychology of desire. Let's be honest, most people don't buy a Rolex to tell time. Your smartphone does that better. They buy it for status, achievement, and belonging. The waiting list, official or unofficial, serves a psychological purpose. It creates a hero's journey for the buyer. You don't just walk in and buy success, you earn it, you wait for it, you prove yourself worthy. And when you finally get that call, "Mr. Smith, we have a Submariner for you," the dopamine hit is massive. You didn't just buy a watch, you won a watch. You were chosen. This is the same psychology behind exclusive restaurant reservations, limited sneaker drops, Ivy League college admissions, VIP event access. Scarcity creates perceived value, and perceived value creates real demand. Rolex has turned their watches into modern-day status symbols by making them genuinely difficult to obtain. Not impossible, just difficult enough that ownership feels like an accomplishment. And that, my friends, is marketing mastery at its absolute peak.
So here's what we've uncovered.
Rolex isn't sold out because they can't make enough watches. They're sold out because they choose to control supply. They've turned purchasing into a relationship game, weaponized scarcity psychology, and created a secondary market that only amplifies their prestige. Now I'm curious, would you wait 2+ years for a Rolex, or would you pay double on the grey market? Drop your answer in the comments. I genuinely want to know where you stand. And if you're wondering what else you'd like to know about luxury brand strategies, tell me below. Your suggestions literally shape what I create next. If you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of content I obsess over. And speaking of luxury brand secrets, in my next video, I'm revealing why brands like Louis Vuitton and Burberry literally destroy millions of dollars worth of unsold products every year. The reason will shock you, and it's even more calculated than what Rolex is doing. You won't believe the psychology behind it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious. Real wealth whispers, fake wealth shouts. Luxury works best when you never question it. Now you see the illusion. This is the luxury illusion.